You couldn't wait. But here it is. It's volume 6 of What the F Is That Doing in the Junkyard, where we go to the local self-service yards all over wherever we can go, mostly Southern California. But this week we got a special one for you, because this week is all 1970s cars. Nothing but the 1970s. So get on your platform shoes, throw on that polyester suit, put in that Def Leppard 8-track. Oh, wait, Def Leppard was 80s. I'm sorry. So put in that Leonard Skinner 8-track, and we're going to head down to the wrecking yard and see what's there.
Here's yet another one you never see anymore. This one's a 1979 Lincoln Versailles. Now, this was basically the Lincoln version of the Ford Granada and the Mercury Monarch. So Mercury had their own version of this body style. This one also has the vinyl top being very 70s. And someone's already gotten this one, pulled all the trim pieces. It's got like a continental deck lid to make it look like sort of like a mini Mark V, if you will. And the driver's door is actually not opening right now, so I can't get in there. I'm going to go around the other side, though. We're going to check this guy out. Said you never see these anymore. These were kind of like a Lincoln afterthought. These are almost like the equivalent of a Cadillac Seville of that era, which was based on the Nova platform. This one has the vinyl top rust as well, which said a lot of vinyl top cars from the 70s suffer that fate. I had a Mark V once that I had to get it repaired, but it was such a mint car, other than vinyl top rust, I really had no choice. This one still has the original 8-track player, so definitely a throwback to the 1970s. It's got the Cartier clock, and the other interior's seen better days. It's got blue door panels and like burgundy interior, so interior's definitely been swapped out at some point. But once again, I mean, when's the last time you saw a Lincoln Versailles out on the road? Definitely a Malaise classic. Okay, here's another one that it's pre-smog. It's a 1973 Chevy Monte Carlo. Probably wouldn't have gotten saved. All the front end stuff's gone. Someone's grabbed like all the goodies, all the stuff that's probably sellable on the internet. It's got a small block Chevy in it. Looks like it was a power brake car. These cars were usually pretty well loaded. I mean, this was like, you know, their personal luxury car, if you will. Had a vinyl top, or it still does actually. So as you can imagine, it's got the typical rear window rust that accompanies a lot of vinyl top cars from the 1970s. Somebody got all the dash components already and pretty well stripped out the inside and used the back seat to prop the hood open. Like I said, you know, pre-smog, but probably wasn't in a good enough condition to restore or reuse. I mean, one of the lowrider guys might actually done something with it, because those guys, I've seen them put stuff back on the road that really was in rough shape, but yet they were able to do it. Coming around, show you the fender's got a dent in it. Might be from a forklift though. But yeah, kind of interesting to see a 73 Monte Carlo popping up in a self-service yard even today. All right, so continuing with our 70s theme, we have a 1971 Ford Thunderbird with the hideaway headlights. One of them is kind of winking at you. Someone's already grabbed the motor out of it. I believe these had like a probably by 71, I'm guessing like a 429. That's probably what these had. I had a 68 that had like, I believe it was like a 390 in it. I had a sedan. It wasn't really a sedan. It was like a 4-door hard top with suicide doors. This one's a 2-door coupe with the Landau roof. Vinyl top with the Landau bars. So, which a lot of these Landau bars were big on Thunderbirds back in the day. They even, you know, going back to the early 60s. Go inside, all the interior stuff's been kind of ripped out. It's got a center console, bucket seats. These, it's got the wraparound rear seat, if you can see. They wrapped around just like they did even going back to mid-60s Thunderbirds. Yeah, I mean, would have it been saved? Probably not. These aren't really high-dollar cars. Certainly not, doesn't gather as much interest as the 55 to 57s, and then like the Square Birds and the Jet Birds and things like that. The rear tail panel, that would have been like all the way across tail light panel. Must have been in good shape because someone snagged that one probably pretty quick. I can imagine those are impossible to find in any sort of decent condition these days. Around the other side, I mean, it was straight, but then again, not really a high dollar car, so not something that would have been restored, certainly. I don't know if I can get it on this side. Coming in. Yeah, headliner's completely down, and kind of like another shot of the back seat. But pretty interesting to see one winding up here at the wrecking yard. Continuing with our 1970s theme here. Okay, for all you late 70s G-body fans, here's a 79 Olds Cutlass, two-tone. Looks like original paint. Body's actually pretty straight and rust-free, but someone's already got to this one. The dash was pretty well destroyed, so I'm guessing this one was left outside most of its life, because a lot of the plastic bits on these cars tend to go when you leave them outside, as most of you probably already know. This one's already been pretty well stripped. Taillights must have been in good shape because they're long gone. Yeah, but it's kind of neat to see an original paint 79 Cutlass. Even it is here at the wrecking yard. Some have done something with this. I think this one's kind of borderline, because a lot of the parts are available for these now. A lot of stuff's being reproduced, and obviously they are popular with the lowrider and the donk crowd, so who knows? Okay, here's one I won't be going inside. This is a 1971 Oldsmobile Delta 88 four-door hardtop. I don't know which engine it has. It has the Oldsmobile motor. I'm guessing it's the Olds 350. I had one of these. I had a 72 coupe with the Olds 350 in it. I don't know, maybe about 10 or 15 years ago. I bought and I sold it. Wound up going to Germany. Kind of an interesting car, but this one appears to have been donated to charity, and that's how it wound up out here. So it's got a sticker. It was donated to like a veterans charity, and it is full of rat droppings and stuff that rats kind of made a nest of. So I am not going in there. I can kind of show you on the inside how bad it is. Definitely not something that would have been saved, but when's the last time you saw a 71 Olds Delta 88 Royale sedan? It's even got the biohazard stickers on it. Will I be going in there? Hell no. So, still an interesting car. So double your pleasure, double your fun. This is actually the second 1971 Ford Thunderbird in this yard. This one's actually a four-door with the suicide doors. Still got the engine in it. It's like the chrome valve covers even. Someone has already ripped all the dash components out of it. This one's actually a bench seat car, not a bucket seat like the other car. These actually have suicide doors, kind of like the old Lincolns. I actually had one of these. I had a 68 just like this. Vinyl top. Someone's taken the Landau bars off of it. Someone's grabbed the rear tail panel. Usually when you see two cars, two of the same car, usually they came from the same guy. Usually like some old guy died and the family either donated it or just called pick apart with them. Usually if there's more than one of like the same car, especially something that you don't see very often, such as this Thunderbird. Looks like at one point it was like repainted, kind of like a dark blue, but probably wasn't that bad of a car when it came in here. So I think honestly this one might have been saved. Maybe the other one was kind of a parts car for this one. Who knows? Okay, so here's one that's kind of interesting. Not necessarily something that would ever been saved, but it's a 1975 Ford Courier, but it's like the heavy-duty model with a flatbed on the back with the heavy-duty axles. So pre-smog Ford Courier, like a heavy-duty edition. It's like someone already got all the good stuff on the inside, the dash and everything. It's definitely a dedicated Courier community. A lot of guys like to put like 302s in these, like say, get like a, something out of a Fox body Mustang or Thunderbird, do a swap on them. And this one was a pre-smog one, so someone might have actually maybe picked up a smoggier one and switched everything over off of a good one, just to have a smog exempt little hauler there. Again, I don't think it would have been saved, but not something you really see every day, a flatbed Ford Courier.
Well, that's about it for Volume 6 of What the F Is That Doing in the Junkyard, the all 1970s edition. And you know what? We're going to be back at the yards hopefully this week, finding more interesting stuff that pops up. Not necessarily this week's stuff that would have been saved, but still stuff that's interesting nonetheless. If you like what you see, be sure to be sure to comment as to what your favorite car was, and also subscribe and hit the notification bell. And until then, I'll be seeing you at the junkyard.